any apologies to be noted?
Yes, Chair. Councillor Mark Foster sends his apologies and I'm substituting in his place. Neil Baker.
Thank you, Councillor Baker. The second item is the declaration of interest. Members are requested to declare the existence and nature of any disclosable pecuniary interest and or other interest not already on the register of interest in any item on the agenda and withdraw from the meeting at the appropriate time. Do any members have interest to declare? Councillor Cooper?
Yeah, I'd like to declare an interest in item 6. As I'm ward member, I won't be taking part in that debate and leave the room. I won't be speaking on that application, having considered all the report. I don't think I have anything else to add, and I'm happy for council to make that decision.
Thank you, Councillor Cooper. Our third item is declaration of predetermination. Any member who cannot determine an application solely on the information presented to committee at the meeting today is asked to declare that they are predetermined on that item on the agenda and to withdraw from the meeting at the appropriate time. Do any members have a predetermination to declare? Thank you, members. Right, item 4 is minutes of the last meeting, which was held on Tuesday the 4th of November. Are we happy that they are a correct record, and can we agree these by acclamation?
I'll move.
Seconder? Yeah, all those in favour? Right, thank you for that, members. Right, we're now moving on to our one item on the agenda, which is because the first item 5 on the agenda was for Killermarsh, NED stroke 2400303 stroke FLH, which was for 41 Roseway at Killermarsh. I'm going to hand over to Adrian at this point to provide an update on this item. So over to you, Adrian.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Further to yesterday's site visit, Chair, we found that the submitted documents didn't actually reflect the on-site situation for which the applicant had made the application at Rhodesway at Killermarsh. And so we're not in a position, I'm afraid, Chair, this afternoon to determine that application. We have contacted the applicant's agent and we are expecting a set of drawings that accurately reflect the situation. They will then follow due process. They'll be published and there will be an allowance for any additional comments to be made on them, and then we'll report the matter in full back to members in January, Chair. I do apologise that it's such late notice of that, but further to our discussion yesterday and with your agreement, we have come to the conclusion that the only way forward for the council is to defer the application from today's meeting and bring it back in January.
Thank you for that, Adrian. Right then, members, we now move on to our one item. We'll just let Councillor Cooper leave. So I'm now going to hand you over to, where are we now? Yeah, we're now going to hand you over to Alice to do the presentation on this and show us the pictures and what have you.
Thank you, Chair. Right, just going to try and get this slideshow working. Oh, yes, brilliant. Right. This application is for the proposed change of use from a dwelling, C3, to a children's residential home, use class C2, for children aged 6 to 15 at 8 Stay Station Road, Pilsley. We haven't had any other late representations apart from the ones that got sent round yesterday. The site is located to the south of Station Road and is shown here in orange. The site includes a 5-bedroom house or bungalow and large garden. The facilities will care for up to 5 children with disabilities. 3 staff will be required with a shift pattern of 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m, 3:30 p.m. to 9:30 p.m, and then 2 staff staying overnight. Derbyshire County Council Children's Services have confirmed that there is a shortage of this type of care facility in the county. The site is well placed in the centre of Pilsley on a busy 2-carriage road where comings and goings are expected and where other commercial uses would be acceptable. The site is close to the school and within easy walking distance of shops and other services. This differs significantly from Garden House, which members will remember, and which was located off Station Road to the east. Here, an inspector concluded that the 3 separate units of accommodation and that the servicing of those units on a quiet lane off Station Road would not be compatible with the area in which it was located. This is the red line plan of the site. This drawing shows that there is adequate parking for staff changeovers and for visitors out with staff change times. There is also parking on street and in local public car parks nearby. The internal layout of the existing building will be broadly retained. The house is of a size that could be easily be occupied by a large family, which could generate considerable amounts of comings and goings, particularly in the case of if the site were occupied by a family including young adults. This plan from Google shows that the site, the blue pin in the middle here, is well located for facilities and services including the school, playground, shops and medical facilities. These are some photos from the site visit that we had yesterday. Note that the small wall to the front of the property will be removed to aid vehicle manoeuvring on the site. The site has a good sized mature garden with mature boundary features. And this is just another photograph of the front where the parking will be. Local and national planning policy aims to deliver a good supply of adequate specialist housing. Derbyshire County Council have confirmed that this type of accommodation is required in the county. The dwelling is well situated to the use due to its size, space for adequate parking, mature gardens and proximity to local services. The comings and goings associated with the proposal will not have a harmful impact on the already busy character of the area, particularly given the fallback where the house could be occupied by a large family. Officers are therefore of the view that the proposal meets the requirements of policies SS7, LC4 and SDC12 of the North East Derbyshire Local Plan, and no other material matters outweigh that conclusion. Adding weight in support of the scheme are the requirements of paragraph 63 of the NPPF and the ministerial statement of 2023, which supports these sorts of care facilities. As such, officers recommend that the application be approved. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you for that, Alice. Right, we have no speakers on this, as Councillor Cooper has indicated he's withdrawn to speak on this. So, members, do we have any questions for officers? Yeah.
Right. No, you need to press it again.
Councillor Peterson.
Yeah. Did we find out about the garages? You were going to do that yesterday. Did we find out what they were going to be used for?
Yes, thank you. I spoke to the agent. As things stand, they don't need to use the garages as part of the change of use, so they will be retained as in a domestic use. So it could be used for domestic garaging, for they could be used, so for instance, they could be rented out to a dwelling nearby to be used as a garage, so long as they remain in a domestic use. That's fine. They've got their own access, which might be, you've probably have seen on that first photograph that I showed. And they do understand that if they do want to use them for any other use or in association with the care home, then they would have to apply separately to change that.
Thank you. Any further questions? Right. If there are no further questions, I'll open the floor for debate. Right, now open the floor for motions. Councillor Hancock.
I move that we accept officer recommendations, Chair.
Councillor Lacey.
I move that we accept officers' recommendations with a condition on the numbers of the children not expanding to the size of the site.
Have we got a number that we're thinking of on that?
I was thinking 7, but so it does allow for expansion, but not huge.
What do members think of that? Happy to accept that as an amendment? Yeah. Right, members, we have a motion on the floor to accept the proposal. Sorry, Councillor Elliott.
Sorry, Chair. Sorry, Chair. I was just reading at 7:17 that it said it was on site care for 5 children. So I just wondered where we stood with that one. If nobody actually saw that figure,
I did see the
You did see that.
5, Councillor Cooper.
it was just how we arrived at 7 then.
Well, I didn't want it to be 10 people put in there eventually, you know, so I gave it scope to 7.
That's fine. That's fine, Chair. Thank you.
Chair,
Okay,
if I can
no problem.
just add to that, the application is made for children between the ages of 5 to 15. So my suggestion is to be precise in terms of what does children mean. The number is as committee would wish to grant consent for, but it's limited to that definition, 5 to 15 years, whatever number that is, as that's been what's expressly applied for.
It says 6 to 15.
Yeah.
If 6:15 would be,
If we stick with that, because
Yeah.
that's what's on the application.
On the actual application form, it's 6 to 15. then.
my apologies, Chair, I'm just, my apologies.
No problem, no problem. Right, we have a motion on the floor. If we can put that to the electronic vote, please.
Thanks, Mark. It will be yes, Chair, won't it? Yeah, thanks.
Right, members, thank you. That's unanimously carried.
So you need to go and get Councillor Cooper.
Oh, right,
And
yeah.
if you
We're
finish
just
that
going to let
vote,
Councillor Cooper rejoin the meeting now.
It's coat still on. Councillor Cooper's coat still, or is that yours, Councillor Elliott?
It's just coming back in.
No, I'm sorry.
Right then, members, we now move on to item 8, which is planning appeals. I'll now ask the officers to run through the next report and items appeals lodged and determined. So over to you, Adrian.
Thank you, Chair. It's not the most exciting report that members will have ever read, I'm afraid. We just had the one appeal lodged in the past period, and that's got a listed building and a normal planning application element to it. That will be judged on its merits by an inspector in due course, with a number of appeals that have been lodged subsequently, and they'll be reported in January, Chair. I'm happy just to mention briefly, if it's okay with you, Chair, the session that's been arranged for this next week, next Tuesday morning, where in agreement with the chair, we'll deliver a workshop on a number of appeals that we've achieved over the past few months, and we'll seek to bring out any lessons from those that we think would help members in making decisions going forwards. And at the moment it'll just be Alice and myself again, Chair, so we hope you don't get bored of seeing us.
We'll never get bored of seeing you, do any members have any questions on the report? No? Right, we need, so we agree to note the report. Yeah, all those in favour? Just acclamation. Thank you. Right, that moves on to item 10, which is matters of urgency. And surprisingly enough, I have no matters of urgency to declare, so I'll close the meeting. And thank you all very much for your attendance.